Welcome back, guys, to Trails of Cold Steel 4, where last episode we took on Rostrum, a gatekeeper of Gehenna, to earn another bonding point before starting our sweep of Raquel, noting things to come as we finished off our last location of the day. With that done, we used our extra points to spend some time with Eustace, heading to help his butler Al-Nals, who we felt was being overwhelmed with work, as we received the Holy Sword Elvars that Eustace had sent to be sharpened. That brought an end to the loop, as we set off to the meeting at last. Having boarded the Pantagruel, we now head in to see who else has been invited. How many character models in how big a space? That's what I'm wondering. And we're back. Wow, incredible. Doesn't even begin to describe this place. Actually, haven't you and Instructor Reen been here before, Ali? It's a bit of a long story, but I shall not reveal the details of his misconduct during that occasion. What? Reen? Reen, what did you do? It was a misunderstanding. I'm not entirely convinced. I'm sure he didn't have impure intentions. That's the whole problem. His heart is too pure. As I've told you before, Reen, nobody likes a goody two-shoes. Yeah, you got that right. Can you guys just not? We've known for a while of your unsociable ways. Yeah, we already accepted the fact that you're completely clueless about people's feelings, Reen. Reen's got all the luck, though. All the bad luck, I'd say. This brings back memories. Reen carried me in his arms once. Alright, I forgot about that. Man, there was a lot going on that day. I doubt anyone there that day expected that sort of daring escape from you. Wow, that must have been so cool. Reen, you hound. You really can't judge a book by its cover. Guys like you and Lloyd are really something else. Leave some charm for the rest of us, will ya? Instructor Sarah, Toa. Requesting permission to burst into tears. Permission denied. This just means everyone likes you, Reen. You're a lucky man, Reen.
Wow. Looks like the party's already started.
Kinda feels like this meeting was a long time coming, huh?
Well, I'll be.
Took you guys long enough.
Long time no see, Tita.
Have you grown a few, Reach? Or am I imagining things?
Estelle... Joshua... and...
Hello again, Tita. Remember our promise?
Ren! Oh, you guys. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
Don't you get me started, too.
So melodramatic. And here I thought you two'd have grown out of this by now.
You're one to talk. I can see you getting a little choked up yourself. Seems like you've been holding up pretty well, Agate.
As if there was any doubt. We're making progress, don't get me wrong. But there's still a lot left to take care of.
All the more reason to stay on top of our game from here on.
Oh, Sarah! You're here too!
Nice to see you again. It's been too long.
Man, it sure has. What's it been, like 3 years since you were last here in the Empire? Oh yeah, let me introduce you to Fee. Sup?
Fee? Like, the Fee? That petite powerhouse they keep talking about in all the guild branches?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Sylphide. As you can see, we've heard all about the work you've been doing.
You can just call me Fee. I've heard a thing or two about you guys, too. You know, from Agate and Sherazard.
Oh yeah? Trust them to embarrass us like that.
Speaking of Shera, we still don't know where she is, do we?
Not a clue. We know she's still alive, at least. Way I figure, if she was in trouble, she'd contact us with that thing she's got.
Right. It's only been about 2 weeks since we last heard from her.
She left Heimdall altogether just after that, didn't she?
Yeah, I've got all the other Erebonia embracers looking out for her too.
Tio! Nice tackle, Kia. Lloyd, Ellie, I'm glad you guys managed to come.
Of course. We wouldn't miss this.
Oh, I can't help myself. Come here, you two.
Ellie, I can't breathe.
Oh, Tio, I'm so relieved to see you're okay. Yona's been worried about you too, you know.
Oh, you don't say. That's cool. But also, I could really use some air.
Hoo-wee! The dynamic duo's getting bigger and bigger by the day.
Good to see you, Randy.
Right back at you, Lloyd.
Now hold on a moment. You didn't think I'd just let that little comment of yours slide, did you?
Who's the dynamic duo? Me and Tio? I don't think we got any taller.
No, not a... crap. Forget I said anything, alright?
Shame on you, Randy. There are children here.
And we didn't forget about you, Yuna. Kia's been telling us about all you've been up to.
We heard you helped set Tio free. I'm so proud of you.
Well, that was more Class 7 as a whole. It was just part of our mission. As someone who's always looked up to the SSS, it's so great seeing all of you back together again.
What do you mean? You're one of us too, Yuna. Mm-hmm. You're a lot closer to the SSS than you give yourself credit for.
That's right. You carry on the spirit of Crossbell in a way all your own.
I think we're all aware of how much you look up to the SSS. But you know what? It goes both ways. We're just as proud of you too, Yuna. Every one of us.
Thank you.
Well, at the very least, you've gotten a bit more tame since the first day you bucked into the branch campus.
Come on, Randy! Let me have my moment! Oh, right! Elisa! Over here!
Hello, Ellie. How are you? I'm so glad you guys finally got the chance to reunite.
Thank you, Elisa. Allow me to congratulate you on your reunion as well.
Aw, thanks.
I suppose I'd better introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Reen Schwarzer, graduate of Thor's Military Academy, Class 7. Ellie, Estelle, Joshua. It's a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is ours. Elisa's told me quite a bit about you already. Perhaps a bit too much, actually.
Oh, Ellie?
We definitely know you by now, after all the stories we've heard. From Tita's letters and Ren, even Olivier and Toval.
I see. It's no surprise you knew His Highness, but I wasn't aware you knew Toval too.
Yup. We met back on our first trip in Erebonia. He helped us out a bunch. It's good to meet you, Reen. This has definitely been a long time coming. Don't worry. You can loosen up around us. We're the same age, more or less, right?
Got it. I think I'll take you up on that. Looking forward to working with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
As are we.
Oh,
It's been a while, Lloyd. How have you been?
Busy, to say the least. It's been crazy this past year and a half. I really owe you for your help during Operation Birdcage. I'm sure I'll get the chance to return the favor, though. I get the feeling we're gonna be seeing a lot more of each other. From here on, Reen, we fight on the same side. As equals.
Instructor Reen?
Honestly, I'm not sure I even deserve to shake your hand. I'm sure you've heard about what I've done. The mistake I made.
Reen.
It's my fault that the curse spread throughout not only the Empire, but Crossbell too. It's the same with Northumbria and Jirai as well. Even this awful war with Calvert. I have no idea how I can even begin to apologize.
No, Reen. That's wrong. It's my duty as a detective to look beyond what's on the surface. You want to know what I see? I see that this was all a setup from the very start. Nothing you could have done would have possibly changed the outcome. I see a man who, despite it all, never fell to despair. A man who continues to push back, even at this very moment. Not just for Crossbell, or even Erebonia, but for the world itself and all who reside in it. Within you lies the strength of countless allies, helping you move forward through whatever may come. I'd like the SSS to be a part of that, Reen. To be one of those allies there by your side. Empire or Crossbell, where we're from doesn't matter anymore. Now we're fighting for the world itself. Together.
Lloyd.
This guy, I swear.
Now I understand why you look up to him the way you do.
Yep. Told you he was great.
Wow. How am I supposed to follow up a speech like that? I'll gladly take your words to heart. It's good to have you with us, Lloyd. I'll be honest with you, our situation is looking grim, and it's only going to get worse from here. But that's never stopped us before. With you on board, we'll overcome every barrier in our way.
You got it.
That goes for us, too. We Laburlians got your back.
I see you've saved me the trouble of rounding you up.
Principal Le Guin.
Right on time. Is everything ready?
Is she?
General Aurelia Le Guin, commander of the Viceland Army.
Wow. I can tell this lady's a serious badass.
That's an understatement. She's one of the greatest swordmasters of our generation.
Bracers of Laburl, Special Support Section. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Aurelia Le Guin. Well met, all of you. I'd love to chat with each of you individually, of course, but time is of the essence. I suspect our other guests are anxious to get things underway.
What?
I knew it.
Well, if it isn't the Special Support Section, I do believe it's been around 2 years since our paths last crossed. Though it would seem Arios is not with you this time around.
A pleasure to see you again, Your Lordship.
Our apologies. Arios had some pressing matters to attend to, though he did make sure to send his regards.
Is that so? I suppose I expected as much. A man in his position seldom has any time to spare. Princess Elphin, I bring you my greetings and condolences both. We received news of Emperor Eugen's condition, as well as the tragedy that befell Prince Olivert. I can only imagine the pain this must put you through. You have my deepest sympathies.
And you have my sincerest appreciation, Your Lordship. I must admit, I didn't expect to be able to meet with you so soon.
Nor did I. A silver lining in the dark cloud that brought us here. Lady Mildine, allow me to thank you once again for the invitation.
The gratitude is ours, Your Lordship. It's an honor to receive you.
Ha ha! This is quite an extraordinary crowd we have here. Correct me if I'm wrong, SSS, but it was 2 years ago that we last met as well, was it not?
Yes, back at the trade conference.
It's good to see you again, sir.
Princess Alphin, Lady Mildine, I don't believe I've ever formally had the pleasure. Though I suppose in a way we aren't entirely unfamiliar with each other. I had the privilege of meeting your brother, you see, back during the conference.
Ah, yes, he mentioned you before. Pleased to finally make your acquaintance. Knowing you're here helps put into perspective the true scale of Operation Mille Mirage.
It's an honor to have you. We do appreciate you taking the time to come. After all, I'm sure you of all people have been particularly busy of late, President Rocksmith.
What? No way! So that's how this is gonna go.
I don't even know how to react.
How silly of us. I didn't realize we had neglected to make our introductions.
In that case, allow me to go first. I am Albert von Bartolomeus, Grand Prince of the Principality of Remiferia. It's a pleasure to meet you, students and alumni of Thor's Military Academy.
And I'm Samuel Rocksmith, President of the Republic of Calvin. I'm sure I'm the last person you would expect to see here.
Prince Albert is one thing, but President Rocksmith?
Indeed. And in person, no less. What's the President of Calvert doing here? We're on the verge of war.
That is exactly why I chose to attend, Machius Regnitz. Ah, and you must be the acting Duke Alberea. And, you're Fee Clausel, correct?
Let me guess. She told you.
As I suspected, you work for Calvert's Central Intelligence Department.
That's right. I'm a second lieutenant in the CID, as well as a member of the Special Force Hercules. Thanks for your help before, by the way.
I'm Lucy Sayland, Private Secretary to the Grand Prince. For those of you we met before, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Now I understand. You were investigating Erebonia's internal affairs to prepare for today's meeting.
Wait, back up a sec. If the heads of Remiferia and Calvert are here, then...
There's only one more big nation we're missing.
It would seem they've arrived.
They made it.
Oh, you have got to be shitting me.
Liberl has just as much a stake in this as anyone else, after all.
Oh!
It's the Princess of Liberl. And beside her...
Man, today's just full of surprises, isn't it?
Sorry for the delay. I have to say, this is the most luxurious ship I've ever seen.
Thank you once again for inviting us. My name is Claudia von Auslies. I will be participating on behalf of Queen Alicia II of Liberl. Delighted to make your acquaintance, everyone.
Cassius Bright, Lieutenant General of the Royal Army of Liberl. Unfortunately, we don't really have time for pleasantries. How about we get straight down to business?
But where's Sieg? This feels more like a summit than an informal meeting of concerned parties. Yeah, but Eustace and Angelica must have known this was coming, right? Yes, Muse planned to include representatives from powers outside Erebonia right from the beginning. though we had no idea who exactly would be invited or in attendance. Turns out Operation Mille Mirage has many influential backers. Now the Lieutenant General of the Bull is among them. Cassius Bright, a tactical genius who stopped the Empire's invasion during the 100 Days War. After the war, he left the army and worked as a bracer for a while. He and my father were good friends. I think I remember something involving them around 4 years ago. Right, when multiple Erebonian branches of the guild were blown up. When the anomalies started in the build, he rejoined the army. And now he's having a friendly chit-chat with the president of Calvert, whose country is about to get invaded by Erebonia. That Muse is an excellent matchmaker. She even reached out to Remeferia. Wow. Remeferia is in a similar situation as LeBeau right now. The Empire is pressuring both of them to allow the army safe passage through. Neither are particularly willing to do so, but they fear retaliation should they decline. Refusal could be construed as siding with Calvert. Small nations can't afford to be assertive against the overwhelming power of the belligerent Erebonia. Yeah, that'll probably be the main topic of discussion today, I think. While those nations can't openly oppose the Empire, we, along with bracers and the Special Support Section, are more free to take action. It's a good opportunity to speak with the other parties involved. Not just LeBeau and Crossbell, but Remeferia and even Calvert too. Indeed, there is no better time for us to exchange information. It's also the ideal time to speak one's mind freely. After discussions have concluded, I'd like to speak with the Grand Prince and the President myself. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Though I wouldn't mind exchanging a few words with them either. And I'd like to talk with Ellie if there's time. Yeah, and Crown Prince Claudia too. Seriously? Well, I guess it's your best shot at getting close to her. By the way, Ash, don't you and Joshua go way back? Well, that ain't confirmed and I don't really remember him. Still, you two might want to talk and clear things up. Yeah, that's what this thing's all about, isn't it? There's going to be a dinner after the main talks. We can talk about more personal stuff then. The principal invited us here, so there's no point in acting like wallflowers. Yes, let's make the most of it. I should go around and talk to the attendees myself. I definitely want to check in with those from LeBeau and Crossbell. Might as well talk to the representatives from Calvert and Remeferia too while I'm at it. Oh, time for some schmoozing. Your party is temporarily disbanded. The main story will progress once you see the required sub-events. That's PJ. Has waited that long to gift a sub. Respecting the cutscenes. Thank you very much. I know your plan. Basically, I'm just meant to see everyone in there, but I obviously can't go into the top where they're having the meeting, so let's go at the top where they're having the meeting. Whee! Disrespectful! Hi. I was so curious about the meeting, but I guess I'll just have to wait for the results. Yes. Epic fail. So everyone's kind of sat at which... wasn't it this table I sat and talked with Blue Blanc? Blue Blanc. So no one's sat at that table just yet. Well, I guess we'll start with nearest. Which, most interestingly, is you, obviously. There you are, Reen. Steadily working your way through the crowd, chatting everyone up. Are you going to talk to Kayla too? Yeah, that's okay. Special Second Lieutenant Kayla. Special. Yes, you may speak to me at any time without reservation, Ashen Chevalier. I'm grateful for your help the other day. I had a feeling you guessed who I was right at the start. I have my suspicions. It seems I interrupted your conversation. What was it about? We were just touching on recent internal affairs in Calvert. I'm not sure what you might have heard about the situation there. The ruling party lost to the opposition in the recent elections. Once President Rocksmith's term ends, he'll be forced to step down. Yes, I read about it in the Imperial Chronicle. That's a drastic change. The country is already in a crisis, but there's also been acts of terrorism carried out by the anti-immigration faction. I see. Immigration is a very divisive issue in the Republic. With each passing day, it's becoming more apparent how weak our country is. I expect our leaders to announce a new course of action after today's discussion. Thank you. I have a handle on Calvert's situation now. Despite her young age, Kayla is remarkably sharp. You saying everyone else here isn't sharp? Sounds as though things are pretty chaotic over in the Republic. Yeah, I knew there was some dissension there, but I had no idea it was on this level. We'll just have to wait and see what decision the conference members come to. Okay, so you can't talk to people separately. There might be multiple conversations on a table. By the way, it's so good to see you again, Kayla. How has Kilika been doing? As well as ever, she's one Iron Lady. You make it sound as though a long time has passed since you were last in Calvard. Angelica, that Kilika, is she who I think she is? You picked up on her name, huh? She's a practitioner of Taito. She's the one who taught me. I thought so. Kayla, have you also been training the Taito style? No, although I do admire Eastern martial arts and swordsmanship. Pursuing those arts requires serious dedication and investment of one's time. I admire you for having reached intermediate level in the 8 leaves 1 blade style ring. Hey, thanks. How can one even describe Kilika? She's an incredible fighter, obviously, but she's also sharp as attack. The day I get to see her again can't come soon enough. I'll be sure to pass on your regards when I get back to Calvard. Yeah, no extra stuff there. Right, so multiple conversations in multiple different directions. It's a great pleasure to have guests from the highly esteemed Force Military Academy. I hope you'll find your stay with us relaxing and your room satisfactory. Nope. Nope. Memories of the way things used to burn. This is Altina's room, right? Altina's decided not to come in here again, just in case. Man, there's an absolute crap ton of people in this one. Absolute loads, says Peter. Gives another sub. Thank you very much. I never dreamed I'd be in the presence of the president of Calvard and the Grand Prince of Remetheria. And how was Josette not on scene when she's part of the old school? Crown Princess Claudia and Lieutenant General Cassius are here too. That's a bit too much. What's a commoner like me doing here mingling with royals? What's the problem? You're great at mingling. And besides, you've been helping out Lloyd and Reen a bunch. No reason for you to not be here. By the way, thanks for helping me and Agate cross the border into the Empire. Things would have been way harder without you. Tita, I told you that was no big deal. You saved my bacon too in Heimdall. Seems like Capo Delivery Service is always there to help when we're in a pinch. Your services are a lifeline for the guild too. Everyone's very thankful to have you guys around. You don't work for Jaegers and you stay away from shady business. That counts in your favour too. Look, it's a business and we do what we have to in order to turn a profit. Oh, she's blushing. Ooh. You guys, stop it! You really like teasing at her. Don't worry, it's friendly teasing. Lise, as well as the branch campus, used to be within the Capua Barony. The members of Capua Delivery Service used to be Skybanners, but they seem like decent people. More! Hey, Reen. You're quite the social butterfly today. Just making sure I get to talk to everyone. Cassius is next on my list. Makes sense since you both study with Master Kafai after all. If I'm being honest, I'm not really sure why he and Chloe agreed to come all the way here. I don't know what to think about this Duchess Cayenne. The whole meeting has given me some bad vibes. Muse's not a bad person, I promise. I can only imagine she must have been planning this for a while. She tries not to show it, but the situation in the Empire was probably bothering her a lot. You noticed too, didn't you, Instructor? Yeah, I did. From what I've heard, Yuna saw right through when they met back up.
Sure, you may also be a genius who can come up with plans to change the fate of the world, but that's beside the point. There's no way an ordinary girl like you would be okay with a plan that would cost millions of people their lives, is there?
Her mask fell for a second then. She's only 16 too, even younger than Fee. I've heard this and that about the Cayenne family. The Duke before the last was widely believed to be just and wise noble. When he died in an accident, his younger brother inherited the title, but all he cared about was his personal interests. Musei's foolish uncle even stirred up the civil war, and their family was about to be stripped of their title and privilege. And yet here we are, with Musei as the mastermind behind a plan to save the world. She's got more guts than anyone on this ship. I think I can empathise with her more after hearing that. Yeah, me too. Judging from what I've heard, it's no surprise she understands. There's no telling how these talks will go until they're over and done with. But regardless of what major events are set in motion, we must not forget about the individuals that will be swept up. Muse's one of those individuals, so do me a favour and stay by her side. I doubt you need me to tell you that, though. You really are amazing. Huh? You really just say what you think without being around the bush, huh? I see now why Tita compares you to the sun. You're bright and you dispel any shadows of doubt in others. Thanks for the advice. That was my intention all along, but I needed the kick to get around to it. Ha! That'll help. Good luck. Thanks. More? Wait, it said challenge? Oh, it must be Fee. Oh, Estelle, there's something I've been dying to know. You and Joshua are together, right? But how far exactly did you guys go? No, we're getting in with the girl talk. That's so out of the blue. Don't try to wiggle out of it now. I'm burning with curiosity too. You wouldn't have tried to dodge the question unless... Whoa. Why are you all bugging me about it? Ugh. I can't tell you and Reen's right there. What if he hears? Let's not talking about something personal. I don't want to be a third wheel. I better go. No! The deets! No. Just because I'm male doesn't mean I can't be involved. Why'd you have to gender your talk? I used to sit with an absolute ring of girls at certain parts of the day in sixth form and just girl talk. It was fun. Way more fun to talk with the guys.
Okay.
Especially because they talk at a mile a minute, so it's great. What's up, Estelle? Still no progress. Need some cheering up. I wouldn't say that. It's just, hey, knock it off with the leading questions. I probably shouldn't be listening into this. No, listen more. I'm nosy. It's been 2 years and all, but could you try to tone it down a bit if possible? Everyone's questioning this. Isn't it cute how Estelle gets all flustered? Yeah, it makes me want to jump right in and ask her for more details. Instructor Sarah, Fee, please, show us some mercy. No mercy! Right, let's, partial... Oh, this is going to be an interesting conversation. Hey, Kurt Ash, good to see you again. Happy to have your instructor back. Yes, very much so. It was only possible thanks to everyone's help. Aga was pretty impressed with that sword of his. Really see where he got the name Heavy Blade. Those two weren't bad either. Might have taken a couple swings, but I was just one of many taking part in Operation Bustering Out. Same goes for me and Kia. Maybe our timing was lucky, but credit goes to everyone equally. Joshua? Ash? Don't the two of you have something important to talk about? Ren, she's right. Don't put it off. Everything's going to shit right now. There's no guarantee you'll be able to see each other again. Yes, you should sort things out now. There's no denying the Raquel has become home to you, Ash. But I'm sure there's value in learning about the place that led you there. Hamel was just a small village. It had no more than a few dozen inhabitants. As a result, there were very few children living there. Louvet was the oldest at 16, my sister Karen was 15, and I was 6. But there was another boy too. He was 3 years old. He was too young to play with as much, but ever since he was a baby, we looked after him. I was looking forward to playing with him when he was a little older. He was almost like a little brother to me. But then those peaceful days abruptly ended. A group of Jaeger dropouts posing as the Royal Army opened fire on the villagers. I watched on as Jan and Amelia were shot. There was blood everywhere. Their son fell to the ground, blood all over his clothes. We fled, we ran and ran, too afraid to look back. Survival was the only thing on our minds. That boy didn't die though. He had merely fainted from shock. We had no idea. Eventually we made it out of the village. Do I stay behind to distract our pursuers? He told me and Karen to keep running. But we got ambushed by another group of Jaeger dropouts. Joshua, that's truly heart-wrenching. I heard it before, but it gets me every time. That's what happened 14 years ago. At least that's how I remember it. That boy we left behind might have a different perspective on the events of that day. He may have hated us for escaping without him, and I can't blame him. The bullet you fired at Emperor Eugen should have been for me. Joshua? It's alright, Ren. It was a shock when I heard about what happened in Heimdall. I realised the burden that boy from Hamel had to live with. But even though I felt immense guilt that we hadn't checked to see if he was alive, that we hadn't taken him with us, there was another feeling too. Overwhelming joy. I can't say how happy it made me when I found out he had survived. Joshua. Thanks for being patient and listening to this long story of mine. I don't know why you bother telling me when it's got nothing to do with me, but it wasn't entirely boring. I managed to stay awake till the end. Ash! Glad to hear it. Thanks, Ash. That Mille tragedy took place at around the same time I was first taking Ymir. I'm glad Ash was able to hear Joshua's story. Too many words, names, hard to pronounce. Oh, is this where we're getting loads of character notes by looking at it? This is why we've only been at 20%. This has been the gate. Oh, I didn't know you were there, instructor. Hey, Reen. Dude, eavesdrop much? Sorry about that. But the same event Joshua was talking about pretty much changed the course of my life too, so it's at least a little relevant to me. Why so defensive, Ash? I thought you said Joshua's story had nothing to do with you. Just got you there. Whatever, screw all that old drama. We got plenty of new drama we can talk about instead. For example, what's going on with you and Russell, huh? What are you talking about? Huh? Oh, why don't you share with the rest of the class? Ren, it's not like that. Damn, you can't even see what's right in front of your face, old man. We all know what's going on. It's obvious to anyone with half a brain. Who are you calling old, you little brat? I'm only 28. Why are we even talking about this? That's a very Ash way to change the topic. He used to be such a crybaby. That idiot's kept him safe. No, not just her. It's thanks to a number of kind-hearted people. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that story with us, Joshua. Of course. Thank you as well, Reen, for all you've done for him. It's been more lively than usual around here, but I'm glad to see Ash enjoying himself again. Yeah, it seems like Ash getting the short end of the stick, though. What the crap, man. Why the hell would you even say something like that? What? I'm just curious. Seriously, though, if you don't make a move, some other guy will sweep Tita off her feet before you know it. Ash, walk away. Slowly. He's gonna get you. There's a window right there. We'll test how tough it is. Tougher than a dragon's head? We're about to find out. Finally getting to tell Ash about all this has really taken a load off my shoulders. Thanks for giving me the chance, Ren. No problem. You two are a lot alike, actually. You're both a little clumsy when it comes to your feelings. Can't deny that. Well, we've checked out this room. Of all the fun friends. The situation with Joshua and the blonde porcupine has calmed down. Next is Agatha and Tina's relationship. Let's see what we can find. Sheesh, you're pretty merciless, you know. Oh, I can speak to Joshua on his own. Reen, it may not be my place to ask, but please look after Ash. I'll do the same in my own way. Of course, Joshua. He's in good hands. Also, Joshua, while you're at it, Kurt and you, obviously that's why you're across from each other, not just Kurt's buddies with Ash, but the dual sword style. Kurt knows Vander style. You could really trade some stuff. Alright, well, that's one room. So who's in this room? Oh, and we've got Assis. And in this room, we have the Crossbell party. Which makes me wonder what's over in this room. Never even checked the lay of the land, did we? Dinner will be served later, but light refreshments are available at any time. If there's any particular cuisine you prefer, Erebonian, Northumbrian, Liberlian, or Calvarnian, please let me know. Thank you. We've been making our own preparations as a secret. Lady Mildean's Operation Mille Mirage is the only thing capable of stopping Operation Jormungand. Chancellor Osborne's government must be stopped. Justice is on our side. So over here must be the other delegations. Well, that's interesting. Duvalie. And strong people.
Onwards.
Let's go. Got a favourite cat. That's not my own. As PJ gets another sub. Oh, there you are. Thank you very much. Introduce yourself to all the important people, are you? Well, I thought it wouldn't hurt. What are you up to? Not much. We're merely standing around. I've been on this airship before. I've seen all there is to it. Anyway, the talks will soon be over, so I might as well wait here. Is something bothering her? She's not hiding it very well, is she? It's about that man from Liberl. Cassius? She's been acting funny around him. Oh, I get it. He's a master of the 8 Leaves 1 Blade style. He used to go by the nickname Divine Blade. Hey, what are you talking about behind my back? It's rude to exclude people from a conversation when they're right there with you. Ah, sorry about that. How are you doing, Rosine? Everything okay? More or less. I received reports of Ouroboros activity from the High Seat when I was on the way here. Nothing's happened yet, though. By the way, I heard there was an incident in the holy city of Arteria. I think Emma mentioned something about that too. Mila might know more about it, but as luck would have it, she's not here. Ah, yes. Maybe she'll turn up eventually. Maybe, but as for me, I'm happy just keeping her distance. I can relax about her annoying presence setting my teeth on edge. Enjoy it while you can. Shall I ask the staff to fetch you a saucer of warm milk? Good idea. Thanks, Rosine. I'm just going to try to make myself comfortable. You should try to relax too. Being stressed all the time isn't good for you. Celine, she knows. She knows the ways. Even with so many distressing things going on, we cannot let ourselves give in to anxiety. If you can, try to clear your mind and relax. I will. Thanks, Rosine. Even with so many... Yeah. Try to clear my mind. One of my goals is to achieve greater mastery as a swordswoman. Leonhardt was quite a promising individual, with skill almost as great as that of my lord, but... yeah, from what I heard about him, it seems so. The next level for the young ones would be the Purple Lightning and Arcade. I suppose you're there as well. Yeah, what an honour. Speaking of young swordswomen, there's a fellow disciple of the 8 Leaf Styles who started before I did. She's not a direct acquaintance, but I've heard that she's Masakafai's granddaughter and she's been practicing since childhood. Such a person exists! Yeah, she's a braceman from the Bill. I don't think she's a direct disciple, but I think she's acquainted with Estelle and the others. I've heard Masakafai that she's got great potential overall. Ah, a rival. I will need to see this Labelle bracer with my own eyes. Immediately, Duvalie decides that she must be a rival. Well, healthy competition is good, I guess. Do you think Annalise is somewhere going, shivers down her back, like, oh, what's happening? I think she's too carefree for that. Ah, rival. There is much I need to investigate thoroughly today. Duvalie looks preoccupied. Yes. Weapons! Strong swords! Swords good! Spears! Spears too! Guns! Is that what you meant? In chat? It's an honor to speak with you again. We haven't had the chance to talk leisurely since we were at the Esmeralda Garden. It's been so long. I was kind of having an identity crisis when we last met. Somehow we've always been too busy to really talk. Yeah, true. Damn, all the generals here are strong as hell. You managed to hold off McBurn all on your own in Languedoc Canyon. That's pretty damn awesome. My father fought McBurn as well, though he seemed alright at the time. The damage his body suffered manifested later. Have you noticed anything similar? No. Luckily, I seem to be perfectly fine. I don't think it's because McBurn was going easy on me. He seemed dead set on inflicting as much pain as possible. I think he might have been particularly vicious when he was fighting Viscount Arcade. Ah, I was worried about Wallace, too. Good to know he's okay. It'd be nice to have a friendly duel with him one day. No! Don't pop the side quest thing. Sounds like the General hasn't suffered any serious side effects from fighting McBurn. We really must train ourselves towards their level if we're going to stand a chance. Also, one was fought outdoors and one was fought indoors. Could that have done something to it? Huh. There's some interesting people walking around, call themselves General. Looks like even that Lieutenant General Cassius from Laville's pretty damn good. Yeah, I was hoping for a chance to talk to him, but... yeah, I want to talk to him. Let me talk to them. The main event is still to come, isn't it? Schmooze. Oh wow, is that you, Schwarzer? You look awfully serious. The situation's pretty grave. At least I finally have a sense of what direction I should be heading in. I've got my allies to thank for that. They're lending me their strength. That's good. Guys, you seem to have gotten used to your new powers. Falcom was a legend, there's no doubt about that. But I think you'll be another. That's kind of you to say so. I hope it won't sound patronizing, but I've been concerned about you. I see now that I needn't have worried. You're doing well for yourself, and you'll go far if you keep it up. You know how to build my confidence. I appreciate it. They both studied under Barkle. I'm thankful they've got a good relationship. I should speak with Cassius soon. Yeah, problems with that. The Brigadier General is stunningly accurate with his observations. I shall take his words to heart. I'm sure that's for the best, guys. In fact, maybe I should take that advice to mind myself. I gotta say though, I'm impressed with how far you guys have come. Looking at you, I feel certain you can overcome any challenge if you just work as a team. Thank you. I hope we'll prove you right. I'm curious now. I realised I talked to the people next to Estelle, but did I speak to Estelle dead on? No, yeah, I probably did. Damn. Right, so we talked to everyone over there. We've still got an absolute crazy amount of people to speak to over here. And I will admit, it's very soon time for the bedtime story. The next episode, the next session, will probably be the finisher for this bit. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll keep talking, of course. Elise and crew. Oh, this coffee is excellent. Yeah, and the biscuits are great. They're Remiferia specialties. I'm glad that's your liking. Afternoon coffee and biscuits. What a wonderful custom. I could get used to this. Ah, so true. I was worried that you'd be pretty unapproachable since you're the Grand Prince's secretary. I was surprised to learn you're not that much older than us, though. You're really young for your position. My situation is quite different. I'm close friends with Princess Alphen. I've been appointed especially for this occasion. My family is quite well known in Remiferia. You might have heard of the Salents? Let me think. Salem, where have I heard that name before? The Salem company produces medical equipment shipped worldwide. Remiferia is famous for being at the forefront of medical research, which becomes a bartering chip in relations with other nations. The Salem family, besides owning a prosperous medical company, has strong connections in government. You've done your homework. The current state of affairs is deeply worrying for Remiferia. Our country is small and relies on advanced technology and scientific research to remain afloat. We're not prepared to deal with this war in the least. I understand your predicament. I wish there was something we could do to help. I want to see how these talks go first. I was wondering what her special secretary position was all about. She's very good with words though. It's easy to see things from her perspective. And she encourages others to side with her. The Grand Prince made the right choice appointing her. Oh, we didn't get a Deccan dialogue there. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Irene. Do you have time to take a break? I have coffee and snacks. Oh no, don't mind me. You're in the middle of an important discussion and I don't intend to stay long. Just before I go, I hear you ran into my students back in Le Maire? That's right. I didn't realise their connection to you at the time, though. I'm afraid I was unable to properly introduce myself at the time. I apologise if I caused them any unnecessary wariness. No worries. They know you weren't keeping secrets just for the heck of it. It must be Elias's will that we meet again like this. Well, that and some careful planning from Muse. It's a shame we don't have more time to just sit and talk. We should get together over a nice cup of coffee sometime and get to know each other better. Yeah, sounds like fun. Let's make it happen. Network, man. That is a true network talk. Let's make it happen. Sorry to impose on you, Elise. Oh, Reen, I just wanted to say hello to Eustace and the others. I'm really enjoying learning about Remiferia's customs. what I think of the princess attending the party. I know. I'm worried about that too. But worrying about it now won't help anything. Taking a break now might also clear your mind for your return trip. Lucy. Alright, I'm going to stay calm and wait for the princess. Well, I hope we can exchange some useful information in the meantime for a good report. Thank you for being worried over me, Lucy. At least seems okay. Secretary Lucy really is a good talker. Chat with Lucy over some coffee and sweets. I feel much better now. I have faith in the princess. I just have to concentrate on my own tasks now. Indeed you do. Elliot, I can't speak for you for that. Rare Fairy has always interested me. I really want to go on tour there in the future. Of course you do. I see. Is there a reason why? There's a traditional dance there called ballet. It's been... ballet. It's been well received not just because of the music that accompanies it, but as a comprehensive performance art itself. I've always been interested in it, but I haven't had the chance to go. I get it now. Well, maybe you'll be able to ask about how things are there. Yeah, I think it'd be a great learning experience for me. I'm also interested in other aspects of Roman Fairy culture. I got to ask about a bunch of different things. Yep, I never had a chance to see the performance. Ask about many things. You sis. You swat. I didn't expect to see Grand Princess Albert again so soon. Oh, that's right, you've already met. Yes, 4 months ago when you paid a visit to Erebonia. He wasn't accompanied by Miss Sayland at the time. It's a shame she's only his temporary assistant. Her hospitality is impeccable, and she makes amazing coffee too. Wow, she even got a tea lover like you praising her coffee. I'll have to give it a try myself. It isn't that I dislike coffee, Reen. I just couldn't find a brew I enjoyed until I had Miss Sayland's. I'll have to recommend it to Macias as well. Yeah, Macias is missing out. Maybe he's such a connoisseur that he's already tried the special blend, right? Welcome, welcome! I'm the butler in the service of the Le Guin family. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you need anything. I just realised I didn't speak to you, Mr. Butler. I think we've got about one more conversation in us. Well, we'll leave protagonists to last, in a sense. Let's speak here. We've got news on board by the look of it. Well, I sure am lucky getting invited on board the Pantagruel to carry out exclusive interviews. So many interesting people all in one place. Ellie, Tio, Elisa, and even Emma of the Hexen clan. She knows. The other day back in Crossbella, I was thinking to myself that this seems like fate. Adios must have guided me here to thoroughly interview you all. Maybe later if it doesn't take too long. Sorry, but I prefer if you kept me out of the papers. Ever the keen journalist, Grace. You should be aware of this, but you won't be allowed to publish anything about this meeting in the foreseeable future. What about the freedom of press? Just kidding. I understand that being invited to this top secret get-together is a great privilege and I won't be able to write about it for a while. But once international relations become somewhat normalised, maybe I'll get the green light to publish a special report on this. After all, my duty as a journalist is to observe and document important events. That's definitely an important role. That's a sensible approach to take. I'll take everything she says with a grain of salt. You open the materials you collected will win you the Pulitzer Prize, aren't you? Anyway, there's no harm in it, is there? I missed my chance last year and the year before. That's Grace, a journalist working in Crossbell. Whatever her reason, she must have impressed the right people to be allowed here. The man of the hour! Reen Schwarzer, will you agree to an interview? I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of things. Grace, she put him on the spot. She's a very single-minded about interviewing people, but she's a nice person. Ooh, you're no help at all, Tio. Reen, you look just like Grace, walking around sniffing out info. Well, it's not like I'm not curious about the meeting. By the way, I was surprised that Vita didn't show up. Me too. She left the barrier and vanished somewhere. It worries me a little. Yeah, it's kind of suspicious, huh? You're nervous she's plotting something? I don't mean to sound ungrateful since she's helped us numerous times, but Vita's known to pursue pretty questionable goals. I think we should give her the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? Thanks, Reen. If only the same could be said of my mother. Shamanarina, well, she's raised a wonderful daughter. There's no way she could be a bad person. Oh, thanks. That was nice of you. Do I sense a scoop? Why is the Ashen Chevalier so sweet to you? Are you perhaps in a relationship? Grace, Control yourself. Sorry. You can tell her off any number of times. She goes back to her MO right away. Gotta sniff it out, right? I'm sorry for all the trouble Grace caused you, Reen. Rest assured I will be scolding her later. That's alright, really. She wasn't that bad. I'm not sure if anything Grace did deserves Ellie's death stare. So, has Ellie mastered being a mum before being a mum? Sounds like it. Is that her special power? Grace is really something, huh? I wish she had that much drive. In a way, she reminds me of Vivi. They're very different people, of course, but they have the same kind of assertiveness, let's say. It is a little more pronounced with Grace, though. Could be that's part of what it takes to be a journalist, or maybe that pushiness is what drew them to journalism to begin with. Grace on her own is the other dialogue here. Seriously though, I'll have to officially interview you one day, and not just because I personally find you interesting. How the young hero faces the war. Yep, now that's something I'd love to publish once we get through all of this. I'll consider it. And so, we actually will be coming to an end for this episode. This session, before we talk to them, because after we talk to them, maybe events will swing us into other things, and we won't have a good stopping point. I have to wait till next week to find out. Or tomorrow for the YouTube. To find out what is going on here. What is the operations major plan? To speak to Cassius and more. But to leave us out. To send us out. We, of course, have a bedtime story. To this music this time, because I can't change the music after all. 3 and 9. Tears and Promises. Are you ready to see out another session and find out what happens next time? 3 and 9 ducked into a mountain cave on the outskirts of Luzent. They had fled from the Emperor as fast as their legs could carry them and were now completely out of breath. As they sat there together, 9 told 3 everything she had kept from him up until then. She told him about Ace, about herself, the details of her plan, and finally what really happened in that cave 3 years ago. At the start, 3 occasionally chimed in or asked questions, but as the conversation went on, he fell silent. By the end, his head was hung so low that 9 couldn't see his expression. He had been utterly convinced that his friend, his one true friend, had betrayed him, when in reality Ace had sacrificed his life to ensure 3 would survive, and as thanks to that incredibly selfless act, 3 had not only killed him, but had spent the past 3 years despising his memory. Then came his sister, risking her life to save her brother's killer. 3 felt his chest tighten up as a wild mix of emotions ran through his head, threatening to overpower him. He was grateful for being fortunate enough to have 2 people in his life, Ace and 9, who he could fully trust. At the same time, he felt a bottomless well of anger burst up, anger at himself, the pathetic excuse for a human being that he was. Battered by a storm of emotions, his breathing became increasingly ragged. S, are you crying? 9 looked on in concern, having finished the story. She didn't need a response, however. 3's pained silence spoke volumes. I'm fine, he said, returning to his usual blunt tone. Is there anything I can do to make you feel better? 9 asked. I said I'm fine. Despite his words, 3's head still hung low. You're an awful actor, but you're an even worse liar when you're not performing, you know that? 3 sunk down to his knees. 9 moved over to him, taking his head in her hands. She began gently ruffling his hair like a mother comforting a child. Everything's okay now, she murmured gently. It's all okay. But I 3 stammered, his voice growing weak and hoarse. The last bits of 3's facade broke down, overwhelmed by 9's kindness, and he relented at last. 9 was younger than 3, and definitely looked the part, but in that moment she showed an almost motherly level of understanding and compassion. For someone like 3, who grew up without that warmth, it was his first time being comforted by someone, his first time feeling the warmth of family. I know how strong you've had to be, yes. I know how hard it's been. For so long. But it's okay now. I promise. No longer able to hold his emotions back, he finally broke down. A lifetime's worth of tears came flooding out of his eyes all at once. I'm such a wretched excuse for her, he sobbed, no longer able to control his voice in the slightest. Hot tears poured down his cheeks, staining the cool floor of the cave. That's not true. You know that's not true, 9 said, softly, continuing to run her fingers through his hair. Why am I still alive? Why isn't Ace here instead? He weakly slammed his fist against the ground in frustration. Not another word of that. I won't hear it. You're the one who's been there for me the past few years. You, S. But it's because of me that Ace... Listen, that just means you need to fight twice as hard. You're living for him too now. Free's words failed him as he was overtaken by sobbing, his years of pain and suffering pouring out of him. After some time, Free was able to calm himself down somewhat and regain his composure. I'm here for you, so you don't have to cry, Nihon told him, but if you ever want to, then that's okay too. So which is it, then? Free retorted, his detached demeanour creeping back. He suddenly became aware of the fact he was in her arms and hurriedly pulled away. He immediately turned the conversation back towards exchanging information in an attempt to mask his sudden embarrassment. They finished catching up and turned their attention to their current predicament. So the Overseer had figured me out. He knew I was going to try to make a run for it, and that's why you moved to strike first in order to outmaneuver him, Free thought out loud. That's right, I've been watching the whole time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to take him down. I wish you'd told me beforehand. I'll let you spoil the element of surprise with your awful acting skills, Nihon gave a wry grin. Yeah, I don't think so. Free's face scrunched up a bit. Both Nihon and the Emperor had caught on to his plans. There was little room to defend himself in that regard. I chose the moment he'd be the most distracted, Nihon continued, switching to a serious expression. My timing was perfect and my preparations were more than enough, yet despite all that, despite everything, despite being buried under a pile of massive boulders, the Emperor was still very much alive. No matter how much she fought, Nihon simply couldn't figure out how it was possible. It's likely his power at work, Free said. He had said the same things earlier, right as they took off running. What exactly is his power? Nihon asked. I'm fairly certain he can control gravity somehow, Free said. He did something similar 3 years ago when Ace and I fought him. Free wrenched open a bitter, painful memory and began relaying what he remembered to Nihon. He and Ace had been able to fend off the first 2 pairs of assailants sent after them by the organization. It was then that they faced the Emperor, however. Even with the element of surprise on their side, even when they coordinated their attacks perfectly, facing him proved exceptionally difficult. They found their bodies heavy and clumsy and their movements lacking precision and skill. The Emperor, on the other hand, was nimble as could be, almost inhumanly so, and the two were quickly overpowered. So what do you think? Free looked at Nihon, awaiting her input. There was no sign of him starting any cast or charge-ups, so I doubt he's using arts, she said, her brow furrowed in thought. As for a portable gravity manipulation device small enough for a single person to carry and conceal, well, given modern technology, it's seriously hard to imagine. He might have an artifact or something like it. An avalanche couldn't kill him, and he has enough precise control to be able to move individual stones and boulders. Nihon scratched her head in frustration. Damn it, we really don't have a lot to go on here. She paused, thinking a moment more, and then continued. In any case, unless something major changes, he's too powerful for us. Any attempt at a direct attack is going to result in our deaths. They fell silent for a time until Free spoke up, a grave expression on her face. If the time comes when we have to choose, we're going to prioritize your life, Nihon. You need to be the one to kill. Stop it! Nihon silenced Free with an outburst of pure emotion, far more raw than her usual self. But then at least you'd be able to. If you die, I'm going right after you, she shouted. I'll do it myself if I have to. The calm, motherly figure from before was nowhere to be seen. Nihon was in a frenzy now, almost like a child throwing a tantrum. Regardless of her tone, however, her words were heartfelt and earnest. I can't go back to not being able to sleep, her voice dropped to a whisper. I can't go back to being alone. The weight of her feelings was clear to Free. Seeing this, he let out a short sigh. Then yeah, my word, no matter what happens, I'll protect you. That's not what I'm asking for. Okay, you're right, Free said, taking a deep breath. Then I promise that we'll survive this. We'll get through it together. Nihon looked at Free with imploring, almost pleading eyes. You swear? I swear, he said. Now, if we're going to have any chance at all, we'll need to do everything perfectly. The rock slide was massive enough that despite the fact that he survived, it was hard to imagine the Emperor was completely unscathed. If they tried to flee now, the organization would quickly find them again. I would have to contend with the Emperor at his full strength. The pair knew if they were going to make a move, now was the time. Let's do it then. Take him out. To be continued. And this is the history with the books in Trails, especially the main ones. To meet any of these characters at any point in time will be crazy if we ever do. So, with more people to speak to in this diplomatic summit that's going on, Reen is cracking his fingers anxiously awaiting us to continue, but we won't be continuing. Until next time, on Trails of Cold Steel 4. I will see you guys then, to find out what Operation Mille Mirage really means as Rean stands on his own. I cut off his nail so that I can say those 2 words. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys next time.